50. MU healthcare doctors are among those evaluating those new recommendations, but say a diagnosis doesn't have to be the end of the road. In today's Focus on Your Health, Teresa Snow shows us why a fighting spirit is so important.
Focus on Your Health is sponsored by MU Healthcare.
The American Cancer Society predicts more than 95,000 people will be diagnosed with colon cancer this year, entering them in a race for their lives.
Basement filled with big names.
I got Richard Petty, I got Darrell Waltrip, I got Mark Martin, I got Rusty Wallace.
Only one driver has a wall all to himself.
This is my Carl wall here.
That passion for NASCAR and Carl Edwards kept Michelle Alexander on track through one of the toughest times in her life. At 53 years old, she was diagnosed with colon cancer.
How much longer do I have? My daughter's 24. How much longer will I be with her? Those kind of thoughts go through your head.
1 in 23 people will face a similar diagnosis, says University of Missouri healthcare doctor Zihao Wu.
The majority of colon cancer develop from a benign polyp, and that takes about 10-15 years. So if you find the polyp and remove them, then you won't have colon cancer. So it's very important to have a screening to prevent cancer.
But Michelle's love for racing kept her on track.
She wanted to get better. She had this strong will to get better, and I think that it's very important.
Michelle had tickets to a big race at Bristol. Her determination to go only multiplied by a phone call from Carl Edwards himself.
Hello, I was calling for Michelle.
And I said, I know there's an auction, or I can bid to ride in the truck with you for driver intros, and it is my goal to win that auction. Right, so and he said, don't bid, you get here, you're riding with me.
Just 6 weeks after surgery, Michelle got her ride.
Oh, it was just joy. When I raced with my life and crossed the finish line the winner.
2 years later, Michelle still has a winning prognosis, and a letter from her hero calls her battle an inspiration.
Joining me now is Dr. Matthew Bechtold, a gastroenterologist at MU Healthcare. Michelle's story is powerful, but so many people are avoiding those screenings that can make such a big difference.
That's absolutely correct. You know, up to 1/3 of the United States is not getting the adequate screening they need for colorectal cancer. And I think in Missouri it's the same way. Only 66% are getting what they need for screening for colorectal cancer. And I think that's the #1 way to prevent it, is to get your adequate screening.
And it's not just the colonoscopy. Tell me about the options.
There's a lot of different options out there. Colonoscopy is one of them, but there's also stool tests with the fecal immunochemical test, which is most people know as FIT, and the stool DNA test. These are tests that are widely available for people to get screened for colorectal cancer that has been shown to be pretty good test to be screened.
And the colonoscopy isn't as bad as maybe it was in the past. It's easier to prep now.
Absolutely. We've got a bunch of different preps we can use. And we also, the procedure itself with the sedation and the techniques that we have these days, it's not the same as your mom and dad's colonoscopy in the 70s and 80s. It's a lot better, a lot more comfortable.
Briefly, the risk factors for colon cancer?
It's the same as with most cancer. Smoking definitely affects the colon. Your genetics, but you can't really change so much what your mom and dad gave you. But also if you have obesity is one of the main risk factors. And also now we're looking more at red meat. If you can just cut back on the red meat in your diet, it might help prevent colorectal cancer.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Matthew Bechtold. With Focus on Your Health, I'm Teresa Snow.
Focus on Your Health has been sponsored by MU Healthcare.